And hello again, everybody. Welcome to 7 Plus Sports Talk. I'm Sports Director Scott Rossman, along with anchor reporter Hayden Smith. And Hayden, today our subject is on flag football and the inaugural season of flag football in Bay County. And I think it's safe to say it's been a pretty big success.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, this has been a sport that's been around the state of Florida since the 2002-2003 school year. But, Scott, as you know, it's only been kind of around our area for the past about 6 years. So it's really nice to see, especially Bay County being one of the larger counties in the Panhandle, that these girls finally get their chance to get out onto the gridiron.
And no doubt about it, like you said, the other schools in the Panhandle, like in Leon County, Walton County, Okaloosa County, they've been doing it for a few years over in Escambia County, the Pensacola area. They've been doing it since 2020, 5 or 6 years now. And those programs, no doubt about it, they have a definitive edge on the Bay County programs. But again, when we say Bay County, 4 Bay County schools, Arnold, Bay, Mosley, and Rutherford. I always try to do them in alphabetical order so nobody gets their feelings hurt. But those 4 schools, 2 of those teams in particular, not just holding their own, but posting winning records.
Yeah, exactly. We'll talk about both of these teams throughout this podcast. The Arnold Marlins, currently a 12-3 record as we're recording this podcast. They are playing a district championship game against Godby at 6 o'clock. And then you've got the Mosley Dolphins, who's also had a pretty great year this season, Scott, as well, at 6-4. They have torn through a couple teams this year with their offense.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Mosley running into a buzzsaw at Childs in their district semifinal. So probably their season is over, but who knows? The way it's a rankings-based system that gets you into the playoffs. So Mosley could possibly still be a state playoff team. We're going to concentrate again on the 2 winning programs. Kudos to the young girls at Rutherford and Bay.
Yes.
But Rutherford winding up 0-16. They played a lot of games, so no doubt about it. They got probably a whole lot better from the beginning of the year until the end of the year, but just didn't have the team, the talent to compete with other teams in the area. And Bay winding up with a 4-10 mark. But again, Arnold and Mosley with winning seasons.
Yeah, and let's take a look at the Mosley Dolphins right now here, Scott. I mean, you take a look at all the way back from the first game of the year. Boy, that was a spectacle to be able to see, Scott.
Yeah, and the superintendent coming out and tossing the ceremonial coin toss. This was Rutherford there in the white on the left-hand side, the Mosley Dolphins in green on the right-hand side. And Mosley showing that they were ready to play and winning this game. And again, like you said, going on to win 6 of their 10 games.
Yeah, and again, I mean, you'll take a look at some of their highlights throughout this season, and boy, they've definitely gotten better with each and every game, which all of these teams definitely did that from the start of the year to the end of the season. But yeah, they were absolutely spectacular this year, Scott, especially for their first year of flag football.
And as we continue to, I was going to say continue to look at the video, but we did sit down with both head coaches at Mosley and Arnold. We'll start with the Dolphins and their coach, Chris Golden. I was able to do a quick Zoom call with him and talked about year 1 for the Mosley Dolphins. And again, 6 wins in 10 games. And I asked the coach to kind of think back from before this season began and then to where we are now and coming off of their district semifinal loss. But for him to evaluate the season, year 1 for the Mosley Dolphins.
I mean, it's been a really good season with the girls. It's anytime you're starting up something new, you expect some growing pains. We definitely had some of those, but overall, I think the way the girls came in with the excitement they came in with to start a new program. They've maintained that through the season. They've brought that into practice each day with how hard they've worked at practice, trying to understand the game, but then also understand our scheme. And yeah, it's been fantastic. I mean, the ultimate goal in all of this was to set up the program for success in future years. Early success is always great, but that's really kind of a cherry on top. Really what we're trying to do this year was just make sure that we're set up for success in years to come.
And that's the important thing, Hayden, here. They are building a foundation for flag football in Bay County and in Coach Golden's case, specifically at Mosley High School.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's awesome to be able to see them continue to lay the foundation, especially in their inaugural season. And they've certainly done that so far this year. And again, coming into the inaugural season of flag football here in Bay County, there was definitely a hunger for the sport among a lot of girls throughout Bay County, and it has been really cool to be able to see how excited some of these girls have been, and that's definitely one of the things that Coach Golden has impressed him with, kind of the effort they've showed out onto the field and the enthusiasm that they've had here in the first season.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the attitude, especially of a couple of our captains, has been very good. I mean, Ava Parker, as a senior leader, has been fantastic on and off the field. I mean, she's a girl that both offensively and defensively, she's out there making sure that everybody's where they need to be, and that everybody understands their job, their assignment. Faith Alvarado at the quarterback position, also making sure that the people understand what they're doing. Making sure that she understands offensively the playbook. She does a really good job of that. I mean, these girls put in a lot of time, not just out there on the field, but we start every practice in the classroom, and so that we're making sure that we learn our stuff. We learn the plays that we're trying to install, and these girls do a really good job of taking that stuff in and then getting those reps out on the field to try to perfect that.
And you can hear it in his voice. There's a passion for coaching this sport. Many of these guys played football themselves in high school and in college, and they have a passion for coaching. But all the coaches in Bay County, they jumped on board, and they saw the enthusiasm and the effort from the young ladies, and that fired them up. I've heard from many of them about how exciting it's been here in year one. And with the success of the program for Coach Golden there at Mosley in this first year, well, he really believes a solid foundation is being built, and that the future of Mosley flag football is going to be great.
For sure. Absolutely. I think there were definitely some girls that were wanting to get in, but we didn't really have the roster space this season. But I told those girls to make sure that you're back around next season, and make sure that you come in a little bit earlier, so we can try to find a spot for you on the roster. I think it's not just here. I think it's everywhere. We're seeing this explosion of flag football. Even talking with some college coaches, they're talking about how this is really about to explode, even at the next level. Even I saw the announcement a couple of weeks ago with the Big 12 and the NFL are trying to partner together to bring it to the Big 12 in 2028. So it's not just girls are hungry for it at the high school level, but they're hungry for it at the upper levels as well. So I think we're seeing that everywhere, but we are definitely seeing that here as well, and it's really exciting.
And the International Olympic Committee is talking about making an Olympic sport. So flag football is taking off, both on the local level, on the state level, and a regional basis, national, and the collegiate level and beyond. And it's not going to be very far off into the future where we see a professional flag football league that these young ladies that are playing here in Bay County in year one, in Walton County, and Washington County, Gulf County, wherever they're playing, flag football now, that they now have an opportunity to go out there and, get paid to play flag football.
Yeah, Scott, these teams right now, today, for Bay County especially, they will definitely be remembered for future generations, that they were the ones that were able to lay down the foundation and be able to have success later down the line. And again, that's why it's so awesome to see this kind of explode right now, especially right here in Bay County.
Speaking of success, the Arnold program, we got their coach on a Zoom call as well, and they've had great success this season with that 12-3 record and making it all the way to their district championship game. Again, as we tape this, they're set to play in the district title game, and they will be hosting that game. So for all we know, Arnold could wind up getting a district championship here in year one.
Yeah, and Scott, I had a really long conversation with Coach Esch right before their semifinal game against Wakulla, and he just continued to tell me about how excited these girls have been all season long to be able to get better and get out here and play to a very high level. A few of the senior girls already kind of getting noticed by a few college teams that have this at the collegiate level right now. So again, that's super cool to be able to see that in their first year and only year playing high school flag football, they're already getting noticed by college teams.
All right, let's hear from Coach Esch. Again, we sat down and did a Zoom call with him, and let's get his evaluation on his Arnold Marlins, a 12-3 record here in year one.
I think the girls have been excited for it. They're learning a new trade or skill. I had to limit the terminology. We couldn't go day one in and say, calling the routes the same thing that we call it in 11-man. But the girls have owned it. They've made their own names to certain routes. They've made their own hand signals, talking to coaches. I think every day at practice, they're learning a new, just individual drill, whether it be backpedaling or pushing or just trying to keep their feet up under them. I think they're trying to learn the movements and bits and pieces so that they can be better for next year. A lot of our young ladies have only played one position this year, and that was more of a my thing. So I think they're ready to try to branch out to both sides of the ball now.
And you watch these girls compete, the look on their faces, it's sheer determination and will and desire and effort and enthusiasm. It's fun to watch.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun to watch. I've been able to be at a few flag football games so far this year, and boy, Scott, they're fast-paced, obviously, because of the running clock, but, I mean, these girls are also, they're booking it down each side of the field. The Arnold Marlins in particular, boy, they've got some speed on the offensive side and, again, the defensive side as well. So it's always awesome to be able to see kind of the determination to be able to go out there and play to the highest level, but also it's always cool to see them just kind of relax out there a little bit, laugh with each other, and just have fun because, again, it's just high school sports.
And Coach Esch telling us that he's not been surprised by the team winning ball games. He knew that they would bring the enthusiasm and the effort. Perhaps one thing he was surprised with, as he tells us here, is just how tough some of these young ladies are.
The talent's there. We've got girls that play basketball year-round, soccer year-round, volleyball. I had 2 or 3 cheerleaders. So they take bumps and bruises just like the boys. But, I turned around one time and the girl's like this. She goes, I'm not afraid of, contact. I've already had concussions. And I looked at her and I was like, that was my cheerleader that just said that. I was like, where'd you get those from? So, no, they're tough, resilient. And I really think they're just, they want to be good. So they take the coaching, they take the licks when we get them, especially we're losing to Destin twice. I think they're just, they finally found a new sport and they just want to be just as good as boys.
They want to be just as good as the boys, Hayden.
And they definitely look like it out there. You just saw a 60-yarder broken off there, and boy, they're quick, they're fast, and they're relentless, as we saw in a couple of those clips, being able to take a few knocks, not unlike the boys because they're not wearing any protective gear. So that takes a little bit more toughness.
And just like Coach Golden told us, the Mosley head coach, Coach Esch at Arnold, says this first year of flag football, not just because his team won the vast majority of its games and made it to the district championship, but because, again, these young ladies, especially these seniors, and they were coming in knowing they'd be one and done.
Mm-hmm.
They were the icebreakers, the trendsetters, or whatever. They are helping to build a solid foundation. Here's Coach Esch talking about that.
I'm very excited for the young group that's in this program. Emma Krilling, who is she's teetering in the top 3 for linebackers in her grade right now as a 10th grader. There's some really bright spots, especially even though it looks like we're going to graduate 10 seniors, You know, our JV's coming along. They've lost one game this year against South Walton. And I think if we can try to get some of the girls to throw this summer, I think we're going to be, you know, where I told them earlier, we're going to be ahead of the game. I think we're going to be just as caught up to most of the developed teams around us. You know, the Pensacola schools and the Tallahassee schools. That's my goal.
And again, leading into that, I was talking about the seniors laying this foundation, and that's been fantastic. Coach there talking more about the future and some of the younger girls. But like you said, he told you before their district semifinal that there is a whole group of girls lining up to play flag football at Arnold.
Yeah, Coach Ash told me that originally during their tryouts back in Thanksgiving is what he said, is that they had 50 girls try and sign up to try out for the team. Of course, they can only take about half that on their varsity roster, but that is so cool to be able to see that just at one school, granted of obviously Arnold's a bigger school here in Bay County, but to be able to see 50 girls try out for the team, that's awesome. And that definitely proves that there is a hunger for the sport, and there's a hunger for the Arnold Marlins in particular to be very good in the future.
And again, there are more high schools than just Arnold, Bay, Mosley, and Rutherford, but it's worth noting that the district is allowing any young girl who wants to play flag football at a school where currently there isn't a program. Well, she can go and try out at the school of her choice. It probably geographically makes sense to be the school closest to where her family lives, but it's not just for the girls at those 4 schools that are currently playing. Any girl that wants to go and try out, but you better get ready and you better line up early, because I have a feeling this is it. As much as it took off this year, it's going to move in leaps and bounds. And like Coach Ash said there, it's important that they get better quickly, because again, the schools in Tallahassee and Pensacola to the east and the west of Bay County have had a 5-6 year head start.
Yeah, exactly. And echoing off what you said there, Scott, I think that whenever a lot of these girls start seeing that in potentially the Olympics at the collegiate level, like they said about the Big 12 in 2028, they see some of those young women be able to go out there and play to the highest level. That's really going to kickstart things even more.
A mushroom cloud explosion of participation in flag football.
Exactly. But I also do want to say that especially people here in Bay County, obviously the flag football season is starting to come to an end, but please go out and support these girls, because boy, it's just as exciting, if not more exciting, than those Friday night football games under the lights in the fall, because you got to go out there and see it for yourself. These girls definitely care about what they're doing out there, and they are highly successful and very talented.
And a shout out to all the coaches, both the head coaches, the assistant coaches, of course, the trainers, all the people that support, the parents. Again, in any sport, it takes an active parent to, to do their best to get their child involved. And of course, there's cost with that, and then there's the time and effort you have to put into the sport. But again, congratulations to Josh Latch. He's the Director of Extracurricular Activities in Bay County. I believe it was kind of his idea, although others were on board early on. And we did a 7+ Sports Talk way back when about when they first introduced the idea of this. And I think it's safe to say this is everything that they dreamt and hoped for, and then some here in year 1 in Bay County flag football.
Without a doubt. I can't wait to see where the sport goes, not only here in Bay County, but across the nation, and even internationally eventually with the Olympics.
All right, congratulations to all. Thanks again to coaches Ash and Golden for joining us, and congratulations to them on their winning seasons, and to all the young ladies who, again, helped lay this foundation for flag football in Bay County. That's going to do it for this edition of 7+ Sports Talk. For Hayden, I'm Scott. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you later.